I found a use for the notebook that my sister's friend gave me. Hi, my name is Sophie. I am the presenter, curator, manager, editor, words of the What is K-pop podcast, where in which I talk about K-pop, you listen, and hopefully you like it. And if not, then fair enough. I hate myself too. So today's episode is going to be all about me. To be fair, about a month ago, I was kind of thinking to myself, you know what I want to do? I want to do a month all about actors, like K-drama actors and stuff, and talk about kind of what they've done with their lives, what dramas they've been in, why they're in the month, and this, that, and the third, right? And well, I have mentioned it a few times, obviously, over the past couple of weeks, but obviously I started with Kim Soo Hyun. And then about a month ago, a good old scandal erupted. And so I cancelled that pretty quickly. And then I kind of thought to myself, oh shit, like I should probably still do like a month worth of content. And then I recorded like a bunch of episodes, decided I hated it. No one watches them, and so we're just going to carry on doing what we're doing normally. Got 9 days in, and I decided, fuck it all. So we're going to do an episode with 50. Originally, it was meant to be 100, with 50 facts about me. And I've written them down in a cute notebook. And here we are. I also have like K-pop songs that deserve their flowers, disbandment-esque songs, got on this page. Wavy's discography in here, I've written that down. Stuff about military service, I'm going to talk about that. Subunits, I've listed all the subunits in K-pop. And we're going to talk about their songs at some point. Ideas, we have ideas. Blackpink solo songs. Things in K-pop that annoy me. And I think that's it, yeah. I only started doing it like about a week ago, and yeah, honestly, the ideas, they just kind of come to me often at like 10:30 at night, and by that point my brain is toast, and often my ideas aren't actually that good, so I have to try and remember them until about 7 o'clock in the morning, so then I can ponder it to figure out if it's actually a good idea. So yeah. We're also going to be talking about a fun. At the end of the episode, well, at the end of the 50 facts, I actually do have a very. Um, a kind of funny, sort of funny, thing that happened to me about 8 years ago now. And because it's been 8 years, and I fully know that the people who this happened to don't listen to the podcast, I'm going to be able to talk about it with their names. I've been kind of, I think I've mentioned it, but it was an incident in school. Can't wait to talk about that. So feel free to stay until the end, and if you don't, then fair enough. So first up, I was born in the same room as my sister. That is because of the fact that the hospital that I was born in didn't have only has one maternity theatre, and so I was obviously born in the same room as my sister. I also came 7 weeks early. I was meant to be born on the 26th of September. That was my mum's due date for me. I originally was meant to come on the 19th because she had to have an elective C-section. But then on the 24th of August, we went to a farm park, and because of the seesaw, it sort of induced labour, which is like a common method that some people who are heavily pregnant do. They will do physical activity to try and induce labour, and she was actively labouring in home base, actually, our local home base, which is shut down now. And she was like, "Oh no, it's just Braxton Hicks. You know, it isn't the proper labour." But at about 3:30 in the morning on the 26th of August, my mum was bare knuckling the window frame of our spare room, trying to not actively have me in the house and instead go to the hospital. And so I came at about 5:30 in the morning of the 26th of August 2003, which was also my granddad's 61st birthday, I believe. No, it wouldn't. Actually, no, 50 something. I'm trying to see his picture thing, but I can't see it because the stuff's in the way. But I was born on his birthday, so I became the favourite grandchild, understandably. So also, I've never moved house. That's because of the fact that my parents moved in here in April of 2002, so 23 years ago now. And they moved here with the intention of having another child, or obviously, like if they wanted to, another two children. And that is because obviously we have my parents' original room, my sister's room, my room, and then the spare room. My mum has since moved into the spare room because of the fact that she snores. That's another fact. Another fact that I'm sure my mum would be absolutely delighted that I just said. Oh well. Number 4, I have a really old bottle of perfume in my room that I don't actually know the original scent of. It's called Insolence, and it's one of those types of bottles where you it's a dabbing bottle where you have to stick it to your skin, go upside down so it goes on your skin, put it back up, and then you rub your wrist together and then rub your neck and stuff. I actually don't know what it smells like. It's starting to change again, but I do like the scent, and I've had it for so many years that I don't think I could ever part with it, which is really lame. It also has changed colour, I think, which isn't good. If your perfume's done that, I think you should probably get rid of it. But here we are. I have a strange crush on Yunho from TVXQ. Mainly because of the Psycho performance at the SM Town concert for 2025 at the start of the year. Yeah, it just sort of kind of went from there. And I was like, right, he's 17 years older than me. But I mean, my parents are 13 years apart. I'm joking. He debuted when I was born, so no. When I was really stressed as a child, I used to rip up pieces of paper and put them into bags and label them. And that was kind of the thing that really triggered in my parent, or at least my mum's mind, that they should probably get me tested. Rounds of testing later, I got diagnosed with autism. Number 7, I can't burp. I've tried to, but I just can't. I really hate peas, which my sister also hates, but she wasn't as insistent on hating them as I was, so she had to suffer through having them for several more of the years than I did. I can't really remember much of my life. I have little spurts of memories, certain memories that are really funny that I've forced myself to remember, but just I don't really remember much of my childhood or my primary school years and my secondary school years. I can't really remember much of them, which is fair enough. They were really bad times anyway, and I don't want to remember them. Number 10. This is slightly controversial because of the recent remembering that these are real people. I love true crime. Yeah. I don't so much like knowing about the people who the true crimes are committed against. I just like to know about the people who committed the true crimes, which probably is a bit more concerning and stuff, but I really do love a good bit of true crime. It's a problem. For example, the Ruby Frankie 8 passenger stuff. I love that. Obviously, I don't love the fact that children were abused. I don't like that. But I love finding out about that. It sounds really bad if you think about it and just should I be admitting this online? Probably not. I liked the Murdoch murder case. It's on Netflix. The Chris Watts thing, obviously. I liked the Netflix thing that they did about that. JonBenet Ramsey, the little girl that got in her own home at Christmas. I'm trying to think of any others that I really do like to. I'm saying this as though I'm a fangirl of these murderers. I swear I'm not. There was a girl that got put underneath a waterbed. Oh my god, this is so bad. I'm not laughing about her that sort of stuff. But I really, this is so bad. Obviously, OJ Simpson. I liked finding out about that. God, this makes me sound like I'm a blooming psychopath. I'm trying to remember. Oh, there was a kid who accidentally unalived his dad called I Just Unalived My Dad on Netflix. Obviously, I can't say the word here. That was interesting. I think Jack the Ripper. I liked that one because obviously I was like, hey, I learned about it in school and stuff, so that kind of made me a bit of a nerd about that. Oh my god, I'm literally like, I'm just realizing how messed up this sounds. This also is really bad. On the vein of like true crime. So, like I had a bit of a hyperfixation on 9/11 and North Korea for a while. For a while there, I was like really invested. But I was like, I can't really research it because otherwise I'm gonna be put on like some sort of watch list, aren't I? Which is like fair enough, I probably should be. No, I shouldn't. I'm joking, I'm joking. Like admitting it, I'm just like, this is really weird, isn't it? Yeah. Probably shouldn't admit this online, but here we are. I hate stickle bricks. I have a fear of stickle bricks. I don't know what about them. Just like really, I don't. It's just ugh. I don't know. I don't like them. I love bubble wrap, which probably would be a bit surprising given the fact that it's like lots of loud noises. But I love me some bubble wrap. It's a problem. I've watched the Hannah Montana movie well over 100 times. It was like my favorite movie as a kid, and like obviously with Disney Plus, I can just watch it whenever I want to. Riverdale, which is a show on Netflix and the CW a couple of years ago, was my special interest before I got into K-pop. I talk a lot in my sleep, and apparently the other day, my dad was coming out to go to the toilet, and he could just. And actually, for a good couple of years, I would wear them constantly. So that's probably why I have like headaches now, because I overstrained my eyes wearing them so much, and now I kind of probably do have to wear them a lot more because I did that. I have a lot of baseline qualifications in one particular area, even though I don't actually like the area I'm studying in. So most of them are in health and social care, and I'm particularly studying how to look after children and young people, but I don't actually have any intentions of particularly working with children because children ask a lot of questions and they scare me, and health and social care as like a concept really scares me because like you have to talk to people, and I don't know, I don't really want to mess up anyone else. It's like I don't know why I'm doing these qualifications, but here we are. I should have been my parents' fourth child. I shared my birthday with my granddad, which I have mentioned. I would have, if I had gone to university, I would have actually have done American studies, which surprised my parents actually because they were often like, why would you want to study America, Sophie? Like, why would you want to do that? And I'm like, well, I don't really know. I just find America a really fascinating place, but also terrifying. You know, it's like one of those things where I'm like, it's again, it's like studying true crime. It's just like, you know, you shouldn't, but you're also just absolutely fascinated by the inner workings of a country that is so thinking of itself as being the best, and you know is in a lot of ways the best country in insofar as like um being able to get as much like food in the supermarkets and such, but in other ways it's like kind of like a third world country in that it just is so messed up in a lot of different ways. And I'd love to study it one day, but that was what I was originally going to get my degree in if I had, you know, done the other qualifications first, which I did not. And the only other country I've ever been to is Wales, which is obviously next to England, and is where my sister studied at university for 3 years. I've been scared of dogs ever since I was a child because one nearly attacked me and my sister when we were in Nottingham. Actually, it was I think it was University Park, the university place. I've had a Google account and my YouTube account since I was 13. Because one day in October of 2017, I was like, I want a YouTube. Oh no, I would have been 14 actually. Or was it 2016? I don't know. I just thought to myself one day, I want a YouTube account. So I made one. I love Cocoa Pops, which again surprises no one. I have blonde hair, which actually gets, I think it's lighter in summer and then gets darker in winter. Changes colour ever so slightly. And I've got like piece of ginger and like darker blonde and lighter blonde and I swear I saw like a tinge of brown in there one time, but it's like very different all around. I love doing cross stitches. When I was younger, I used to only have my hair in a ponytail, like as in when I would go to school, I would like put my hair in a ponytail, but a very low ponytail, and not do anything with my fringe, and just it looked really bad. And now I kind of look back on pictures of myself at that time, and I'm like, you made some choices there, Sophie. You made some choices. I do a lot of cooking for us. I've never been to London. I love baking, but I can't do it as much anymore because my sister loves baking, so she does more of the baking stuff, whereas I more cook our dinners. I have 4 Blue Peter badges. Blue Peter is like this children's TV show wherein which you can... I don't really know how to explain Blue Peter. It just is. It just is Blue Peter. It's just a kids' TV show. It's very strange. I have been featured in Google Maps twice. One near my local Sainsbury's and the other on the driveway of my neighbour's house, and that one, the neighbour's house one, was actually taken on my 19th birthday. I love puzzle books, like word search books, number sort books, not so much crossword books, but I do like me a good puzzle book, and I have about 20 that I'm working through. I twisted my ankle on the trampoline, and my mum actually, this was like obviously in the evening, and my mum actually sent me to bed thinking that I was just being dramatic because obviously she's a nurse and like she thought that obviously my ankle was fine, but I know it was twisted, and like I think it must have been at night or some time. I don't know. And my mum obviously that came through and was like, holy shit, my child is actually hurt, and so she took me to the local A&E. My left eye is smaller and a little bit lower down than my right eye, which I used to get patches for to strengthen it, like it would go over my right eye. Obviously I'd have to just try and see out my left eye. And it was quite interesting in school because obviously like I was only being able to see out of an eye that isn't that good. So I was like very, very clumsy. And I'd have to get the patches done every single day. And when I went into secondary school, they were like, just cover over your right eye to be able to like shrunk for your left eye. But I just didn't do that. It was like 10 years ago. Just didn't do that. But yeah, no, I think I got the patches, like a test thing check over done every like I swear it wasn't that often. I think it was like every 6 months. And I remember actually going to this specialist hospital. I think it must have actually it was a very long time ago. And he had to put in this solution to blow out my pupil, I think, or like make it bigger and stuff. And so obviously when he did that, he had to put eye drops in, and to make me feel better he was like, oh, do you want a chocolate bar? And I was like, oh yes, thank you. So he gave me a chocolate bar wrapper. My mum was not pleased, and I have this one little memory of like trying to get into the car, but I couldn't really do it. I don't know, I just kind of think I think it's really funny. Just like little random memories I have of that sort of stuff. A month, I've hosted one sleepover, which was with my childhood best friend, and I've been to 2 sleepovers, which again was her sleepover about a week later, and then I went for one with my secondary school friend, who I don't speak to anymore. I used to be a girl guide, so I did rainbows, brownies, guides, and I did about a year of rangers, which used to be called senior section, and I kind of enjoyed it, I think. It was just sort of kind of one of those things that I did, and I just didn't really have any grand feelings about it. I was like, okay, yeah, no, we're going to rainbows tonight, or brownies or guides and stuff, and yeah, it was... Now I think I would kind of be a bit more hesitant to go because it's like social interaction, but back then I was a lot more confident in doing it. I've been camping once for 5 days and I hated it. It was at a place, it was a thing called Poacher at the Lincolnshire Showground. I think, I don't even know, it was like a couple thousand of guides and rangers and scouts, and I'm sure like Girls Brigade or some other organisations from all around the world all came to the Lincolnshire Showground, and we had camping for like a week, and it was horrible. And Bear Grylls came, and he signed a bunch of people's like what you call it, like tie necktie thingy, and I didn't want to because I don't like Bear Grylls, and yeah, no, I hated it. And I was supposed to come home a day early so then we could go on holiday the next day, but I actually went home a day earlier than I was meant to because I just hated it, and my guide leader just did not want me to leave. And so eventually I persisted enough for them to be like, fine, you can leave. And I was like, yay! The next one, 41, is I cheated in a very odd way in a maths task. So we were asked by our teacher, this was in year 4, to kind of, we were all stood up, and he asked us to sit down when we thought a minute had gone by. And because I had a watch on, I was able to like hide in my hair somehow and still be able to see my watch. And I just kind of did it. And then obviously, I sat down as soon as a minute was over. And I'm pretty sure that he knew this, but he was like, you were the only one that managed to sit down when 1 minute went by, Sophie. Like, well done. And it was just really stupid. And I was like, first of all, why did I do this? And second of all, that's actually kind of funny that like I kind of got away with it. I don't know. It's just really stupid. Next up, 42. I accidentally cheated in one of my science exams back in year 10, and I told my head of year, and he said, just don't tell anyone. But now I'm telling you lot. So obviously, it was a Friday morning, so my dad took me to school, and I just didn't think to put my phone away. Like, I was so stressed out about getting to this exam on time that I just quickly got there, and it was about 5 minutes in, I think, that I was like, I think I was like just about to finish doing the questions and like start going back over it, and I like felt my phone, and I was like, I must have made a face because the teaching assistant, who was actually also a girl guide leader, looked at me, and I was like, I'm fine. Like, I tried to make my face look as though I was fine. And it was just so funny. And I had maths later on that day, I think. And so I told my head of year, who was also my maths teacher, and he was like, just don't tell anyone, Sophie. And so I just didn't. And I think I must have told my parents. I must have done. But yeah, no, that was a funny old little thing. Obviously, 43. I don't like exams. I don't think anyone does, unless you're like a massive nerd. I don't know. I hated exams in school. It was so stressful. I left formal education when I was 17, which is obviously when I got into K-pop. I used to have a fringe, as in I used to have like a proper bolt fringe, and then I kind of changed it to like a swoopy fringe until eventually I like put in my middle parting. And actually, I have a funny thing. 46. On the first day I put my middle parting back in, I went up to the Senko unit to talk to them briefly before I went to form, and the teaching assistant came up to me and she said, there's something different about you, Sophie. And so I said, like, oh, I put in my middle parting last night. And she was like, no, it's not that. It's something else. And like, I was just like, I just told you what's different about me. It is the fact that I have a middle parting now. Like, I used to have a side parting, but now my hair is like parted down the middle of my head. Like, I don't know how else to explain it other than I put in my middle parting back. I used to have it, then I had a side parting for a fringe, and then when I was about to go for a bath, I put back in my middle parting, freaked out, and then decided that I was gonna do that now. She was just not having it. It was actually quite funny. And then that teaching assistant ended up leaving at the end of the school year, so I don't think she ever really figured out that I had actually put in my middle parting. I love actually having my hair brushed. It's one of my favourite things, but not when I was a kid, because I actually used to have like extremely curly hair. Like we called it death curls, and it was horrible to the point where I actually detested having my hair brushed. And it's actually quite an oxymoron now that I love having my hair brushed. Just to put again, I talk a lot in my sleep. I love watching K-dramas with subtitles and dubbing decisions. But yeah, that was 50 facts about me as a person. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was actually quite fun just talking about myself for a few minutes. But yeah, I will talk to you very, very soon.